Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the channel. I am so glad you decided to tune in today because we are going to dive deep into one of the most exciting and effective secrets of language learning. If you have ever felt that your English sounds a bit robotic, or if you feel like you know the grammar, but your rhythm just feels off, then today's session is exactly what you need. We are going to explore the art of shadowing. This is a technique that can truly transform the way you speak, helping you move away from just saying words and moving toward actually sounding like a native speaker. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is shadowing? At its simplest, shadowing is the act of repeating English words immediately after you hear them. You are acting like a shadow to a native speaker, but it is much more than just repetition. It is about capturing the soul of the language, the music, the speed, the pauses, and the emotions. Think of it like learning a new song. You don't just read the lyrics. You listen to the melody, you feel the beat, and you try to match the singer's voice. Language is exactly the same. When we shadow, we are training our ears and our mouth to work together in a way that feels natural and fluid. The biggest challenge many learners face is the textbook trap. We spend so much time reading and writing that our brains become very good at the logic of English, but our mouths stay stuck in our native habits. When you read a sentence in a book, your brain pronounces it according to the rules of your first language. But when you shadow a real person speaking, you are forced to step outside of your comfort zone and adopt their rhythm. This is how you break those old habits. This is how you start to sound less like a student and more like a confident communicator. Let's talk about why rhythm and intonation are actually more important than perfect grammar. Have you ever noticed that you can sometimes understand a native speaker even if they are speaking very fast or if the room is noisy? That is because your brain is subconsciously following the music of their speech. English is a stress-timed language. This means some words are long and loud while others are short and quiet. If you say every word with the same strength, it sounds flat and is actually harder for people to understand. Shadowing teaches you exactly which words to emphasize. It shows you where to breathe and where to speed up. So, how do you actually start? It is very simple, but it requires focus. First, you need to find a piece of audio that you enjoy. It could be a podcast, a movie scene, or a YouTube video. The most important thing is that the speaker should be someone whose voice you like and who speaks at a speed that is challenging, but not impossible for you. In the beginning, I always recommend using a transcript. Listen to a short section first, maybe just 1 or 2 minutes. Listen carefully to how the person's voice goes up and down. Where do they pause? Which words do they stretch out? Once you have listened a few times, it's time to start the actual shadowing. Put on your headphones and play the audio. As soon as the speaker starts, you start. You are not waiting for them to finish the sentence. You are following them just a split second behind. You're trying to mimic them exactly. If they sound excited, you sound excited. If they whisper, you whisper. If they link 2 words together, like saying gunner instead of going to, you do the same. This might feel very strange at first. You might feel like you're faking an accent or acting, but let me tell you a secret. Every native speaker learned their language by faking it as a child. We all learned by imitating our parents and the people around us. In the beginning of your shadowing journey, don't worry about understanding every single word. That is a very common mistake. If you stop the audio because you didn't understand a specific vocabulary word, you break the flow. The goal of shadowing is physical training, not intellectual study. You're training the muscles in your face, your tongue, and your throat to move in new ways. You are building muscle memory. Think about a professional athlete. They don't just think about how to run. They run until their legs know what to do without thinking. Shadowing is the gym for your speaking muscles. As you get better, you can try blind shadowing. This is when you do the exercise without looking at a transcript. This is much harder because you have to rely entirely on your ears. It forces your brain to process the sounds of English instantly. This is where the real magic happens. When you can shadow a speaker without seeing the words, it means your brain is starting to recognize the patterns of the language automatically. You are no longer translating or analyzing. You are simply experiencing the language. One of the most powerful benefits of shadowing is that it helps you learn connected speech in textbooks. Words are usually kept separate and clear, but in real life, native speakers push words together. We don't say, "What are you doing?" We often say something that sounds like, "What you're doing." If you only study from books, these natural sounds will always confuse you. But when you shadow, you learn these connections naturally. Your mouth gets used to the shortcuts that native speakers take. This doesn't just make you sound better, it also makes your listening skills explode. Because you can now produce these sounds, your brain can finally hear them when others speak. I want to encourage you to be consistent with this. You don't need to shadow for an hour every day. In fact, that might be too much for your brain to handle. Just 15 minutes of intense, focused shadowing every day is enough to see incredible results in just a few weeks. The key is to be active. Don't just sit there and listen passively. Really try to become the speaker. Record yourself if you can. This is a bit painful for most people because we often don't like the sound of our own voices, but it is a very effective tool. Listen to the original audio, then listen to your recording. Where are the differences? Did you miss a pause? Did you stress the wrong syllable? Use this feedback to improve your next session. Another great tip is to choose different types of speakers. If you only shadow one person, you will only learn one way of speaking. Try shadowing a news anchor for formal English. Then shadow an actor in a drama for emotional and natural conversation. Try shadowing a comedian for rhythm and timing. Each person will teach you something different about the English language. This variety will make your own English voice much more flexible and rich. You will be able to adapt your speaking style depending on who you are talking to, whether it's a boss at work or a friend at a party. Remember, the goal of shadowing isn't to lose your identity or your background. Your unique voice is important. The goal is to gain clarity and confidence. When you master the rhythm of English, you remove the barriers between your ideas and your listener. You make it easy for people to understand you, and that makes you feel more powerful when you speak. You stop worrying about your grammar because the sentences are already flowing out of you in the correct patterns. It is also important to stay patient with yourself. Some days you will feel like a pro, and other days your tongue will feel like it's tied in knots. That is perfectly normal. It's part of the process. When you feel frustrated, just take a deep breath. Slow down the audio if you need to, and try again. There is no such thing as a perfect speaker. Even native speakers stumble over their words sometimes. The point is to keep moving forward and to keep enjoying the process of discovery. Think about how far you have already come. The fact that you are listening to this podcast in English and understanding these concepts is proof that you are already a successful learner. Shadowing is just the next tool in your kit to help you polish what you already have. It is the bridge between being a learner and being a speaker. When you shadow, you are stepping onto that bridge every single day. I want you to imagine a future version of yourself. Imagine walking into a room and speaking English with such a natural flow that you don't even think about the words. You feel the rhythm, you catch the jokes, and you express your thoughts without any hesitation. That version of you is possible, and it starts with these small, daily habits. Shadowing is one of the fastest ways to get there because it bypasses the slow, logical part of your brain and speaks directly to your subconscious. So, your mission for today is simple. After you finish this episode, go find a short video or an audio clip in English. It only needs to be 60 seconds long. Listen to it, and then try to shadow it 5 times in a row. Don't worry about being perfect. Just try to match the energy and the music of the speaker. See how it feels. Notice the small details, and most importantly, have fun with it. Treat it like a game or a performance. The more you enjoy it, the faster you will learn. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today and for letting me bay up but on your English journey. I am truly honored to help you find your voice. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the art of shadowing, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel reach more learners just like you. And if you want to keep improving your fluency and confidence, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming sessions. I love reading your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. Tell me, have you ever tried shadowing before? Or who is your favorite English speaker to listen to? Let's share some recommendations and help each other grow. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and I will see you in the next one.